Exactly 40 minutes after 6, time for us to look at the front pages in some of today's newspapers as captured by myjoyonline.com. Straight away, we start with the Daily Graphic newspaper. Alleged killer of MP arrested. And the Accra Regional Police Command has arrested a man suspected to have killed the Member of Parliament for Aboakwa North, Joseph Boakye Danko-Edu, following a tip-off. And on that story, I've got Afelete Avulad Akuse saying, as for Ghana Police, I trust them. You never run when you cause a crime. Ayiko National Security, Ayiko Ghana Police on JB Danko's murder. So thank you for that message. Back onto the headlines. Supreme Court throws out case challenging ruling on Woyoma. So the controversial case in which a businessman, Abdullah Yusuf Fanash Mohammed, asked the Supreme Court to reverse its earlier ruling that ordered businessman Alfred Agbashi Woyoma to refund to the state some 51.2 million Ghana cedis paid to him as judgment debt was yesterday thrown out. No fraud in award of AfriWave contract. So the National Communications Authority, the NCA, has refuted allegations by a local think tank, Imani Ghana, that the authority fraudulently skewed the process to favor AfriWave Telecoms in the award of a license for an interconnect clearing house. And this doesn't end this conversation, because I know that Imani still think that they've got a lot on this deal. So more to come in the coming days. Daily Guide newspaper, MP killer arrested at Agbogboloshi. This same story in the Daily Graphic, here in the Daily Guide as well. And this angle is that a young man suspected to be the killer of Joseph Boakye Danko-Edu, Member of Parliament for Aboakwa North in the Eastern Region, was arrested on Thursday at his hideout at Agbogboloshi in Accra, 3 days after the murder. Case challenging Woyoma thrown out, and NDC pays EC 5.4 million Ghana cedis. So the governing National Democratic Congress accountant, who was fired recently by the party, has revealed that the party paid huge sums of money to the Electoral Commission. If you grab the paper, I'm sure they will tell you the circumstances under which the NDC allegedly paid this money. And I tell you, this is not the end of the story as well. The weekend final, unsolved murders. When shall we have answers? Big question. There has been a renewed call by many Ghanaians for the Ghana Police Service to up their game and bring in closure to the numerous unsolved killings that have occurred in the country in recent past, to restore a sense of security among the citizenry. Name and shame men who marry young girls. So the executive director of the United Nations Population Fund, Professor Babatunde Osoti-Mehin, has indicated that African governments can do more in the fight against child marriages by naming and shaming men who sleep with and marry young girls. Most of these men you find are very rich men, and they are also sometimes very prominent in the society. If we're to name and shame them, that will go a long way. The General Telegraph newspaper now, some of the headlines in the paper today. Police grab suspected killer of MP. NPP needs prayers. Who is saying that? So on the recurrence of unfortunate recent deaths in the New Patriotic Party, former President John Agyekum Kufuor has urged members of his party and the nation at large to embark upon serious prayers. The Business and Financial Times newspaper now, minimum wage luxury in informal sector. So although Ghana Living Standard Survey estimate that 88% of all employment is to be found in the informal economy or the sector, the national minimum wage of 8 Ghana cedis per day of 240 Ghana cedis per month for formal sector workers is beyond the reach of many in the sector, a survey report has shown. It will be interesting to read the details of this. You can grab the paper. NCA denies fraud in ICH due. So these are the headlines that we're able to review this morning as captured by myjoyonline.com. We'll go to the news portals next, and I've got some messages also on our WhatsApp page. This one says, good morning, Mama V. Why are teachers treated like this in Ghana? Please, Mr. President should pay our arrears. We have worked for it. They should be aware of December. It is we teachers that elect presidents. Arab Money from Chinderi. But I tell you what, there's a meeting. All the associations, the different teacher associations are meeting today to take a decision on that. You haven't been paid for such a long time, and that's heartbreaking, but we hope that this will be resolved as soon as possible. We go to myjoyonline.com, the news portal proper. Some business, GMPC Quantum Power partner to construct Tema LNG facilities. Also, the U.S. visit visa, or what is a refusal under Section 214B. If you've been bounced, you've been trying to go to the U.S. and you've been bounced, this is a good opinion piece that you can read. Who knows? They'll give you the trick to getting yourself a visiting visa to the U.S. Engineers urged to incorporate sustainable development principles in projects. That's another story you find on myjoyonline.com if you visited the page today. An MP played a key role in arrest of J.B. Dankwa's killer. So Joy News has learned an MP, name withheld though, was instrumental in providing information that led to the arrest of a young man who has confessed to killing the Abuakwa North Member of Parliament. But we know that a lot of people are still asking a lot of questions. Why did he do that? If he was a petty thief, why would you go straight into the room of the MP and just kill him the way that it was done? So people are not satisfied that this guy who is confessing to this murder is just a petty thief. My thoughts respect the politician. This is also an opinion that you can read on myjoyonline.com. Let's move to the next story, please. Killer of Abuakwa North MP, J.B. Dankwa Edu confesses. All right. Government to meet with Togolese authorities over Bumpurungu refugees. So the government of Ghana is scheduled to meet with authorities in Togo to arrange the return of some Bumpurungu natives seeking refuge in Togo, sources say. I'm ready to compete, Nana Konadu, to contest the 2016 presidential elections. So former First Lady Nana Konadu Agyeman-Rawlings has announced she will contest this year's election as flag bearer of the National Democratic Party. We share well. All right, we'll go to CTFM Online. Tafo disturbances, over 40 suspect to be screened. Also, I will tackle Fulani crisis in Agogo. Some more promises being made by the Interior Minister who is coming in now, Prosper Bani. NPP welcomes arrest of J.B. Dankwa's killer. That's another story there. An increase in violence not linked to November elections. That's reassuring. That's coming from Kwesi Enin, a security expert there. Wayome heads to international court over 51 million Ghana cedis judgment debt. So after the case was thrown out yesterday at the Supreme Court, where we heard that he's heading to the international, he's heading for an international arbitration on that. No comment. Please, let's move to the next page. All right, we'll do the Africa page of the BBC. South Sudan president reappoints rival. And this is interesting. South Sudan President Salva Kiir appoints rival Riek Machar to the government as part of a peace deal aimed at ending the country's civil conflict. Don't forget that the men behind these two men are also being blamed for the conflict. Now he's calling his rival to be his vice president. We'll see how that goes. We want stability on the continent. This is a story that's now trending. It's developing, if you like. Kenya misses athletics doping deadline. More on that. Opposition thrown out of Zuma's speech. But I have this story open for me. So Fred, please, let's read a bit of this. So opposition MPs in South Africa have been thrown out of parliament during President Jacob Zuma's State of the Nation address for continuous heckling. The leader of the left-wing Economic Freedom Fighters MP said the president has made the country, in quotes, a joke. The speech is seen as a watershed moment for Mr. Zuma, who is facing a court case over the use of some $23 million of state money to upgrade his home. The opposition has rejected Mr. Zuma's offer to repay some of the money. Before being ejected from Parliament in Cape Town, the EFF MPs chanted Jupiter must fall, referring to the president's alleged links to the influential Gupta family. So South Africa is interesting. A lot of people talking about this issue of Mr. Zuma using money to refurbish his private home. But I think the twist to even the story is the fact that they say some of the contracts awarded, the monies were bloated. So if you were to hire an independent or an individual person to do the same job, it wouldn't cost that much. So lots of questions. Yesterday we were told Mr. Zuma had offered to pay some of the money, but people still so not satisfied. Well, why would you use this much money, $23 million, to refurbish your private home? But then again, he's president of the land, so anything is possible, isn't it? Okay, so the last story I would look at is a sports story, but that will be ushering in Benedict Owusu-Dankwa. So let me read some WhatsApp messages before he comes up. From Dr. Abedi Kwada, so aka Big Joe Shoes. And he says our security service should conclude on their investigations before coming out with such headlines, because I believe for sure that right now all those involved will be gone as quickly as possible after hearing or seeing this. I think the police should have hidden the story and make arrest of all those involved first before putting the story on air. Okay. And you say hi to Pajo of Big Joe Shoes near Kwadaso Onion Market, Pakistan of Esoyebua, Fitem, and Mr. Ishmael of Mokap Microfinance near MPAP. You have to pay me for this. This one is like an LPM. All right, some few messages. Mamavi say hi to Roland for me. It's from our friend Costa Paga. Roland will hear this. Thank you. And this one says, oh, good morning, Mama V, but I'm really missing Roland. My favorite love song is Westlife Angel by Esultan Mohammed Awal in Boko. So, Esultan Mohammed, what you will do is to call me when I open the phone lines and sing your Westlife song for me. I would love to hear you do that. After all, it's Valentine. This one says the boy in connection with the murder of the MP should be executed. Hey, Marang from Tamale. Isn't that like extreme? R.I.P. Senior Patriot, and may Allah grant you Jana. And it's from Eric in Wale. Okay, this one says, thank God they have arrested the killer obeying Dada in Medina, sending me that message. This one says, good morning, Mama V. The police must be commended for how far they are handling the MP's murder case. They are gaining confidence of the general public in this matter. Abdullah Martino Sana in Wale, sending me that message. Okay, so just a little bit of this one. Adam Johnson plays for Sunderland. He's been sacked after a child sex charge admission. He apparently slept with somebody who is 15 years old, and he's got two other cases hanging on his neck. I'm sure Benedict Owusu-Dankwa has got details of this. Stay with us. This is still the AM show. Coming up next is Detailed Sports.